Good evening. It is Friday, March 26th, 2021. Next Friday is Good Friday, and we will have an outdoor Good Friday service at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time that will take the place of our Friday devotional. And it will be broadcast on Facebook Live and recorded for broadcast on YouTube later. I hope you can join us. There is a pair of incidents concerning a fig tree that surrounded the cleansing of the temple, and a conversation between Peter and Jesus. And after reading it, I feel sorry for the fig tree. In Mark chapter 11, verses 12 to 14, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition. The next morning, as they were leaving for Bethany, Jesus was hungry. He noticed a fig tree in full leaf a little way off, so he went over to see if he could find any figs. But there were only leaves because it was too early in the season for fruit. Then Jesus said to the tree, "May no one ever eat your fruit again." And the disciples heard him say it. The next morning, after the cleansing of the temple, Mark 11, 20 to 25 records, the next morning as they passed by the fig tree he had cursed, the disciples noticed it had withered from the roots up. Peter remembered what Jesus had said to the tree on the previous day and exclaimed, "Look, Rabbi, the fig tree you cursed has withered and died." Then Jesus said to the disciples, "Have faith in God. I tell you the truth, you can say to this mountain, 'May you be lifted up and thrown into the sea,' and it will happen. But you must really believe it will happen and have no doubt in your heart. I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you've received it, it'll be yours. But when you are praying, first forgive anyone you're holding a grudge against, so that your Father in heaven will forgive your sins too." Here's that poor little fig tree minding its own business, and Jesus wants to use it for an object lesson. Every conversation that Jesus had with the disciples was a teaching opportunity. The fact of the matter is, the tree was alive, but fruitless. Jesus cursed it, and it withered from the roots up, not from the leaves down. Peter called Jesus' attention to it. Now, I do not believe that Jesus was unaware of the situation before Peter mentioned it, but Peter needed to call it to attention. Our prayers are like that. Jesus already knows, but he is concerned enough with what we feel is important enough to mention. Jesus then teaches about the efficacy of wholehearted faith. The first illustration was the object lesson of the fig tree. The second illustration is the mental image of the mountain jumping up and leaping into the sea. Without being able to see and touch the first illustration, it'd be much more difficult to believe in the second. Then Jesus gives two conditions for this kind of act of faith. The first is to believe without doubting. It's one thing to believe that Jesus can do miraculous things, but it is quite another level of belief to believe that Jesus can and will do these things through you. Many of the incidents where the disciples showed a lack of faith, it was not as much a lack of believing in the power of Jesus as it was a lack of believing that God would do such miracles through them. They recognized their own failures and sins and had a hard time getting past their own memories to believe without doubting. The second condition that Jesus gives is that we forgive others so that we may be forgiven. Our memories hold powerful blocks to our faith. We remember our own faults and sins, and our guilt hinders our faith. And we remember the faults of others and the sins of others against us, and we hold grudges instead of forgiveness. We sometimes cannot see our faith because our memories are blocking the view. Jesus does give the answer. Forgive ourselves and forgive others, and then receive God's forgiveness on our behalf. And then our faith is much more clearly seen. May God bless you.